Of the Cynthiana Board of Commissioners to order. It is 5:31. To kick us off, I'm going to give us a quick invocation. If you could bow your heads with me, please. Gracious God, thank you for this day and the opportunity to serve our community. Guide our words and decisions so that they may reflect wisdom, respect, and the common good. Amen. We will first on the agenda, a discussion about street legal special purpose vehicles on public roadways. This is an ordinance that sort of mirrors what the county passed several weeks ago. I don't believe there's anybody in the audience here to discuss such. So hopefully, with more eyes and ears on this meeting, we'll have another public discussion about street legal special purpose vehicles on public roadways at our next meeting as well, and continue to give the public time to give feedback, especially because they'll be hearing the first reading of that ordinance tonight.
What do you want to put as an effective date?
Passage.
I left it blank because I didn't know when you wanted it effective.
We'll do it effective when the second reading is, or I guess passage and publication, however long that takes, so we could make it the Friday,
Okay.
2 Fridays.
So effective upon adoption and publication of this ordinance?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We'll move on. We do have a visitor with us today. We have our annual EDA update by Garnet Furnish. So Garnet, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
We've got a list here that everybody, has got, will follow along. I would encourage you, if you have a question, stop me at that point so we don't have to backtrack and get through this really quickly. First item, occupational tax. I have met with the mayor and the judge individually on occupational taxes, and we should show a slight increase this year. That amount, I usually talk to both of those individuals on a basis talking about the generalities of occupational taxes that's due to, how our jobs are going, et cetera, et cetera. Business park, let's go ahead and go. Does anybody have any questions on occupational taxes? So, okay. Business park, we've got 40 acres left. This year, we have Jeff Taylor purchased 6 acres. 3 acres was sold to another local doctor. We got 8 acres that went to the fire departments. And so that's been some of the activity at the park. The 40 acres that we have left to develop is all on the right side, pretty much where we were going to eventually put CSTH, and that had to be altered due to had a ton of rock. When we did the geotechnicals on the property, it wasn't going to be conducive, and that's why they're locating, where they're going. Water tower is currently, David and I were talking about some stuff, and it's not that I'm taking credit for anything, all right? But if you all remember correctly, back when we had ARPA funds going along, prior to Isaac, James and I and Alex, we talked about putting up $500,000 apiece, then financing the rest or whatever. So we thought, talking with Todd Blanton, that the water tower would be primarily going the 1st of May, and it's just, so that just goes to show you, it takes time to get these things right. There has been some issues with, and originally I think the water pressure was about 37 PSI, and now it's like 82, and there have been a few, issues that had, to be taken care of, but they'll get that taken care of, and that will benefit 56% of the county. So, resurface Seabiscuit. If you remember correctly, Seabiscuit, that was a part of our KPDI grant number 1, and we had to alter what we secured that grant for with the Cabinet Economic Development. and they agreed to let us, spend that money on that very worthwhile cause. So once again, that really just cost the community $150,000 because it was a $300,000. I think Hinkle, did that work out there and did a great job. Let's go. Any questions on number 2? We're going to go to number 3. CSTH to open up their brand new plant here on New Lair Road, and I think they're going to be ready hopefully by the 1st of October and start producing out of there. Okay. While we are talking about CSTH, not only are they going to keep their old building, but they move into their new building, 250,000 square feet, and they are going to have, they have bought a small company out that will eventually lend itself to 50 more additional jobs for the community, which is a great deal because that's like finding a small company. Any questions on CSTH? All right. Housing, still working on 2 or 3 different parcels, for that on a variety of housing. Talking to Glendon King, I know he's close to number 19 and 20 on the houses. He started April of 2024. That's really good, And I know he's got to do additional infrastructure, and that may drive the cost up somewhat. I don't know what that number will be, but we'll all stay on top of that. Number 5, road improvements. Obviously, you've got New Lair, Old Lair connector that will be tied specifically to the city, and you'll have. We'll be working on at the state level new turn lanes for New Lair. Okay. Any questions on that? So we got 2 different things going on. One that is a city project tied to the school system, and one that'll be tied to economic development and in making that thoroughfare hopefully safer and better, for all travelers. So bypass extension, the 60-acre project that goes back, I guess we started on that 3 years ago. We are working on that right now to get turn lanes on that 60 acres. In addition, we had it annexed, rezoned, I don't know, everything, John, and fast speed, whatever. We did have one issue with the 25 acres that's contiguous with Arnold's, Rick Arnold's, and we had some sinkholes that had to be repaired, and that's taken care of. Okay, so we did not want to go into a position that having a piece of property was something that was going to be a limitation on a possible prospect for a manufacturer. So let's see, number 6. In addition, talking about the 60-acre project, there's a certain amount of work that has to be done by December the 7th, and we're in the process of getting that work performed because there's some monies, if we do not get that done, would be lost in the amount of roughly $175,000. And I'm not typically in the mood of losing $175,000 of anything. So, all right. That will be the dirt work removal. We're waiting on District 6 to give us an encroachment permit that will help us, go ahead and facilitate that need. Okay. Number 7, we do EDA does a lot, with tied to the Harvest Festival. We're in our 5th year. 2 years ago, we raised over $12,000 for the local food pantry. Last year, we raised about $6,000 tied to 5 different beneficiaries. This year, the funds will be going to Harrison Memorial Hospital Caravan, which takes patients that do not have transportation to and from their appointments. I believe, what did she tell us? That they've already done close to 1,000 since this year. I had no idea it was that big of a problem. But and then we'll also be helping to raise money for the animal shelter. Okay. gala. The last 2 years, EDA has donated, to their needs in reference, I think, to what are that
The C-section suite.
C-section suite. Yeah, so we've given them $5,000 the last 2 years. So number 9, the 6-acre project on New Lair. If anybody hasn't driven by that, if they saw before and after, I mean, you'd never know that there was a ton of trees there, but that 6 acres of trees is gone. The fence removed. We were concerned about, with all the dry weather, what to do with the debris and everything, and the school system helped us accommodate that need. Brand new fence was installed at a cost not to us, but $77,000. So EDA paid for the removal of all the trees, $24,000, and so it was a total, community effort to get that cleaned up. Now you can literally see back into the brand new plant, and it's going to be, a really great thing for that corridor. So next thing, Mayor, this is going to fall a little bit more on you guys. The mobile homes. One of them has already been removed due to a tree falling on it, and so the folks that own the land, they don't own the mobile homes. But I have told the landowner, in my opinion, the land is actually worth more without the mobile homes being there. So you do whatever you need to do, but that was my advice to him is, over time, you've got, what, year and a half to make all that happen. They're going to be in school, fall of 27. So, okay. 11, we got broadband, new school project, water tower. That's a lot for a community this size, and hopefully it all makes the community, city and county, a lot, so much better. So, distilleries, 5094. At Lair, they were supposed to be, I think, bottling summer of 2026. I checked with Tom. He said, that may have to be pushed back 6 months to 9 months, and so we'll, keep the information there flowing. On Barrel House Distilling at the business park, the still, the mash house, the fermentation tanks are all installed. If anybody needs to see a picture of that, I can send you pictures. Just send a request to me and I'll forward it to your email or text it to you. So it's going to be a great addition to the business park. Community development met in depth on a review on that. That was on August 28th, and where are we going to go and how are we going to get there? That's basically what that community development's all about. Talking about infrastructure, talking about roads, whatever is going to help us, participate. Glengarry Stone has been backfilled with Tri-County lumber. So I know when first thing we started off was occupational tax dollars. So I think they will end up employing just about as many as Glengarry Stone was. I think they were about 20 or 22. I think we'll be okay there. FICO was backfilled, and I talked with those folks. It's Mason Manufacturing. They're based out of Lexington. They do a lot of work for Toyota. They'll start off with 5 to 6 and eventually go to 9 to 10. So we won't miss a whole lot, with FICO. So technically the only plant that we have that's been vacant, it's been vacant for several years, is Bundy Tubing TI Automotive. So I don't really have anything else to add. Questions from Mayor?
No, I'd just say you and EDA have been a lot to keep up with in these first 9 months, and there's been a lot of good progress and projects going on in 2025. And
yeah, well, we've still got a lot of work to do,
Absolutely.
Nothing? Roger, David? Well, that was easy.
Appreciate all the work.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Charles.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We'll move into legals, or wait, no, can't skip this. Minutes, an approval of minutes. We have minutes submitted from the September 2nd regular meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
Commissioner Connor,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Slade,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Matt Miller,
Yes.
Mayor Daly.
Yes, motion passes. Then we'll roll into legals. We have our first reading of ordinance number 1680.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 1680, an ordinance authorizing the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles as defined by KRS Chapter 186 on highways and streets in the city of Cynthiana, and establishing restrictions for operation, whereas the Kentucky General Assembly passed Senate Bill 63 to authorize local governments to adopt ordinances to allow street legal special purpose vehicles as defined in KRS Chapter 186 to operate on highways within its jurisdiction, and whereas Senate Bill 63 contains equipment requirements for and restricts operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on all highways, including those in local governments that allow operation by ordinance, whereas the city of Cynthiana determines that the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles on authorized highways is beneficial to the city and its residents, whereas the city of Cynthiana reserves its right to impose additional restrictions on the operation of street legal special purpose vehicles. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Commission of the City of Cynthiana as follows. Section 1, definitions. Cabinet means the Kentucky Department of Transportation. Highway shall have the same meaning as defined in KRS 186-0102. Prohibited equipment means any equipment installed on a street legal special purpose vehicle that is prohibited by state law or city ordinance. Number 2, street legal special purpose vehicle shall have the same meaning as defined in Senate Bill 63, codified in KRS Chapter 186. Authorized use. Number 1, effective upon adoption and publication of this ordinance, street legal special purpose vehicles as defined by Senate Bill 63 and KRS Chapter 186 shall be authorized to operate on the highways within the city of Cynthiana, Kentucky. Operation of street legal special purpose vehicles defined by Senate Bill 63 and KRS Chapter 186 shall be subject to state law requirements and restrictions as set out in KRS Chapter 186 and any administrative regulations pertaining thereto. If any part of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or unenforceable, the remaining parts shall remain in full force and effect. This ordinance shall be effective upon approval, passage, and publication as required by law.
Thank you, John. I will entertain a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 1680.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Connor,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Slade,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Matt Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Daly.
Yes, motion carries. I'll say in discussion of that ordinance that I did have someone come to my office that had inquired when the city would be having its first reading, and he was in favor. That's the only personal approach I've had from a resident in regards to this ordinance. But again, we will have a second public forum for prior to the second reading of the ordinance at our next regular meeting. John, you will go ahead with the municipal order?
Yes, sir. This is municipal order number 2025 dash, is it 2?
Yes, it's 2.
2025-2, a municipal order of the City of Cynthiana amending the City of Cynthiana position descriptions, sometimes referred to as job descriptions, for police officer, school resource officer. Be it ordered by the City Commission of the City of Cynthiana as follows. The City of Cynthiana desires to amend the City of Cynthiana position description for police officer, school resource officer as it relates to minimum qualifications for the position as set out in Section 5 below. The City of Cynthiana position descriptions for city employees, including any subsequent amendments, do not and shall not create any contractual or other legal rights. The position descriptions shall not and do not alter the city's at-will employment policy, nor do they create an employment contract for any period of time. The position descriptions for city employees may be added to, terminated, amended, or changed at any time by the City of Cynthiana. The city reserves the right to interpret and administer the provisions of the position descriptions for city employees as needed. The provisions of the position descriptions for city employees amended herein will repeal, replace, and supersede all previously adopted position descriptions for police officer, school resource officer within the City of Cynthiana. Every employee should read and become familiar with the information contained in the position descriptions for his or her position. The job description for police officer / school resource officer will be amended to change the minimum qualifications, training, and experience as follows. Training and experience: graduation from high school or equivalent and certification as a POPS officer. See KRS Chapter 95 for additional requirements. And the part that was stricken there was the part that previously said that it must be supplemented by 20 years work experience as a police officer, having retired with 20 years of service. So this amendment will eliminate the requirement of 20 years of service to be a school resource officer. You just will have to be a certified police officer, but nothing more than that. This municipal order officially amends the City of Cynthiana position description for police officer, school resource officer, which is attached hereto, incorporated herein by reference as if set out in full.
I'll entertain a motion to approve municipal order 2025-2.
Yes.
I'll second.
Commissioner Rattner?
Yes.
Commissioner Connor?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Slade?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Daly?
Yes, motion passes. We'll jump down, David, if you're okay with it,
Yes.
to your report, starting with the municipal road aid bid discussion, since we have a guest here for that.
Yeah, all y'all have those pamphlets, those sheets. We have our estimated total down here, and the ones highlighted within the yellow is the ones that, based off of our scores, that we are all leaning towards. I really thought that the intersections really gave us a great big amount of space for the amount of money to improve. A lot of these streets, the intersections, unfortunately, was the areas where the most digging was actually taking place. I don't know if y'all had any additional questions on the way that we graded the streets out. And I would like to, got any questions, Mayor, you have?
No, I just want to thank the commissioners here that turned in their rankings so we could figure this out and make the best stretch of our buck possible. And we'll need to approve this bid tonight, correct?
If you choose to, yes, if you will, because she put in a bid as an individual, like.
We'll need to
street,
accept
so
them
if-
individually.
If you want to do, like, if you are gonna stick with your top 5, you'll probably need to list them as
For the record.
what you're gonna actually do for the money that you're gonna use, because the total amount is not what's in the account at this time.
No.
Right. So if you want to make that in form of a motion, David, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yes, I would like to make it in form of a motion.
And just state the streets.
Yes, so we will do Oddville and Walnut intersection. Then we would do the West Pearl Locust intersection, Federal and Riggs intersection. Now, I didn't think we was gonna do the Oddville and Wilson. I did not thought that was gonna be part of that.
This is North Elmarch,
Yes, the North Elm March,
Oddville to Wilson.
yes. So I'll do it in form of a motion.
Are you all putting that in?
Hickory Court.
What about Hickory Court?
On Hickory Court.
Hickory, yes.
Are you gonna talk to them about doing that on the I didn't know, but you still wanna do this as the motion that it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have a motion for The approval of Hinkle's bid for Oddville and Walnut intersection, West Pearl and Locust, Federal and Riggs, North Elmarch Avenue from Oddville to Wilson, and Hickory Court.
I make that motion. I second it. Whichever it was.
Commissioner Corner,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Matt Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Slade,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Daley.
Yes, motion carries. So, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Moving back up into the mayor's report, I've got a couple updates I want to give before I get to the business on the agenda. I wanted to just give a public update on some of the major projects going on with the city. Now that the water tower has gone online, that's something else off the list, but there's plenty more in the pipes to come. Our roundabout project, which will be taking place right outside of this building, the design phase is near complete, and the property acquisition phase, I'm told by our engineering group, should begin in December or January. The Connector Road project from Old Lair to New Lair, which Garnet mentioned in his update, is still in the design phase. I think it has gone through 3 redesigns since I've been in this office, and I foresee that it will stay in the design phase until probably to the end of this year, and then hopefully we can get everything shored up from there and move into property acquisition and the work bidding out. Our Lowhead Dam project is currently awaiting FEMA approval. The scope of work of that project changed a little bit. It initially encompassed Terry Dam, Robinson Dam, and Poindexter Dam. Those dams are not owned by the city. With conversations of Fish and Wildlife and the Division of Water, there was some disagreements on what they wanted to see happen there, which didn't totally align with the initial project. So that scope of that project is now just Terry Dam, which is owned by the city.